I came home for Christmas, but only my grandpa was there. My dad texted, "We took a trip. Use the money you saved for us." Grandpa looked at me and said calmly, "They'll pay it back sooner than they think." I was 24 and had been working 2 jobs since I was 19. Warehouse shifts during the day, stocking shelves at a grocery store at night. I didn't go to college. Couldn't afford it. While my older brother Dean went to a state school on my parents' dime, I was told there wasn't enough left. "You're resourceful," Dad said. "You'll figure it out." Mom didn't even argue for me. She just nodded along like it made sense. Dean got tuition, books, a meal plan, and a car to drive to campus. I got a pat on the back and a bus schedule, so I figured it out. For 5 years, I worked every holiday, every weekend, every shift nobody else wanted. While Dean was out at tailgates and spring breaks, I was stacking pallets until my hands cracked. I saved $23,000 in a separate account. That money was supposed to be my way out. A deposit on my own apartment, maybe a used car that didn't break down every 2 months, maybe a trade school program. I kept the money at my parents' house in a lockbox in my old bedroom closet. I know that sounds stupid, but I trusted them. The account was in my name, but the physical cash, about $6,000 of it, was in that box because I'd been slowly converting some savings to avoid spending it. The rest was in my bank account. I drove 6 hours to get home for Christmas, pulled into the driveway at 4 p.m. on December 23rd. The house was dark, no lights on the porch, no wreath on the door. I let myself in with my key. The only person inside was Grandpa Lou, sitting in his recliner watching a nature show with the volume on low. "Where is everyone?" He looked at me for a long second. "Check your phone." I pulled it out. Dad had sent a text 2 hours earlier. "Hey bud, took the family to Cancun for the week. Last minute deal. Use some of the money from your box to cover flights. We'll figure it out when we get back. Merry Christmas." I read it 3 times. Then I walked to my old room and opened the closet. The lockbox was sitting right where I left it. I picked it up and already knew before I opened it. It was light, empty. Every single dollar gone. $6,000 in cash that I'd worked night shifts for 3 straight years to save. Bills I'd counted and recounted every few months just to remind myself I was getting somewhere. Gone. Spent on flights to a beach I wasn't invited to. I came back to the living room and sat on the couch. My hands were shaking. Grandpa muted the TV. "How much did they take?" "All of it. 6,000. He nodded like he already knew. "Your father asked me for money last week. Said it was for a family trip. I told him absolutely not. I asked him where the money was coming from. He said you'd understand. You'd get over it." "I don't understand." "No," Grandpa said quietly. "You shouldn't." He reached into his shirt pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I had a feeling this would happen, so I made a call. It was a letter from Grandpa's lawyer. He'd updated his will 3 months ago. The house, the property, the savings account with $340,000 in it. All of it was going to me. Not my parents. Not Dean. Me. "Grandpa, I can't take this." "You're not taking anything. I'm giving it to the person who earned it. Your father has been borrowing from me for 20 years. Your mother hasn't worked since Dean was born. Dean's been on their payroll since college. None of them have saved a dollar in their lives." He pointed at the empty lockbox on the floor. "And now they're spending yours." I sat there staring at that letter while Grandpa turned the TV back on. Christmas morning was quiet. I made eggs and toast. Grandpa and I ate in the living room watching old movies. He didn't try to make it feel better. He didn't say sorry on their behalf. He just sat with me, which was more than anyone else in this family had ever done. Around noon, Mom called. I could hear the ocean behind her. "Merry Christmas, honey. We miss you. Are you at the house?" "Yeah, with Grandpa, since nobody else is here." "Oh, don't be upset. We'll do Christmas when we get back. Dean says hi. You took $6,000 from my lockbox." Silence. Then, "Your father said you offered." "I didn't offer anything. I wasn't even here." "Well, we needed it for the flights. We'll pay you back." "When?" "When we get back. Don't ruin this for everyone." I hung up. 5 days later, they came home tanned and laughing. Dad walked in the door carrying a souvenir bag. He saw me at the table and his smile faltered. "Hey bud, we brought you something from the trip." "I don't want a souvenir. I want my $6,000. "We'll get to that. Let's not start the new year like this." Grandpa walked in from the other room. He sat down at the table next to me and placed the lawyer's letter face up. "While you were gone, I finalized my estate. Everything goes to your grandson. The house, the accounts, everything." Dad picked up the letter. His face went gray. Mom grabbed it from his hands. "Dad, you can't do this. What about us? What about Dean? What about the boy you stole from?" Grandpa said. The room went dead quiet. "They paid me back within 2 weeks. All $6,000. Nobody mentioned Cancun again.